I'm a debater. I love to debate, but I don't just love to debate. I like to watch others debate. And I like, most of all, to know what are the popular topics of debate, what gets people hot under the collar, where are their convictions. There are any number of controversial topics, sure. There's race, religion, Netflix or Amazon Prime, etc. But out of all of these, the most controversial in terms of the numbers of people who are willing to engage and debate online and possibly anywhere is the area that I describe as sexual politics. You could also call it gender politics. It encompasses a lot of things: dating, reproduction, sex, gender roles or gender identity, feminism. What always impresses me about sexual politics is the number of people who are willing to engage and spend time debating it, often at length. People who, probably in regards to other issues, wouldn't have a huge amount to say, but they have a huge amount to say on the issue of sexual politics. It's as if we all have a dog in this fight, we all have a stake in it. And related to sexual politics, in fact, very much connected to it, is a term and a community and even an identity that has grown out of online culture: incels. For those of you who don't know, incel is a portmanteau for involuntary celibate. People who want sexual intimacy from others but cannot find it. Now, incels usually exist within informal online communities, but actually, these communities are pretty small, pretty fringe, and the fact that incel has become such a commonly used term online is unusual considering how few people who identify as incels there actually are. In actuality, incel, its common use is less a descriptor and more just an insult. If someone wants to degrade the value of a man, they'll call them an incel. And it can get strange. I've had conversations online with people who said something along the lines of, "My ex boyfriend is such an incel. He was always cheating on me." In actuality, people, usually men, who identify as incels are often well advanced into adulthood, even in their 30s, sometimes in their 40s, and have barely been on a date. I guess it's the nature of language that a word that originally describes something specific often devolves into a simple negative or positive meaning. This video is about a particular argument that I observed in an incel group, and I'm using this because it's very illustrative of a common trope in the area of argument in sexual politics. I'm going to call it the blue pill, red pill, and black pill divide. Here is the conversation. Opening post. Other than looks, what's the main cause of inceldom? Attitude, mindset. One looks, two looks, three looks, four looks again, five mindset, six approach. That's the truth. I said other than looks. Secondly, looks have little to nothing to do with it. Looks have little to nothing to do with it. You can laugh all you want. Most incels blame looks because it absolves them of all responsibility. And you pretend lookism isn't the truth to cope. How do you explain unattractive men who get women? And do all incels share a brain? Because you all say the exact same thing. Unattractive men beta bucks or are a woman's first BF, or they're gatekept via patriarchal arranged marriages. You won't tell people the truth. That is an exception for a reason, because you're afraid of lookism and what it implies. Beta buxers even get dead beds and get cheated on the regular by their wives because nobody wants to them even when married. Self identifying incels have the balls to admit They're genetically undesirable, but you need to cope about it. No. I'll respond to the last because it's the only one I can understand. They say that they admit they're undesirable. The only thing undesirable about is their relentlessly negative, self-defeating outlook. Riveting argument. Let's hear it again. You incels are all the same, not an original thought among you. Typical cult. Calm yourself, my blue-pilled friend. I'm no incel. I just don't gaslight them like you do, because they're honest. You aren't. I'm plenty honest. You tell them to give up. Sure you are, and yes I do. Bro, you have an amazing personality. How do you deny looks to be the reason if you aren't catching anything? You're based, bro. Excuse me? Are you guys actually wasting your time trying to debate with such a conceited person like OP? Denying that looks can be and is the mainest reason of inceldom is foolish. You all agree with me if I say that he keeps on denying the importance of appearance because he himself knows that it is his mainest issue and obstacle in having a dating life. English is not this poster's first language. I'm conceited? That's rich coming from someone like you that thinks they know everything and rebuffs other people's advice. Just like you. As you can see, the blue-pilled character in this conversation's proposition is that physical appearance has precious little to do with one's success in dating. The black-pilled characters say that appearance is what it's all about. Blue pill is mainstream opinion, a world of choices where if we strive to achieve a goal, we can achieve it. A world of Tony Robbins and Hollywood movies. Looks, they can't be the issue because looks are hard to change. And in a world of choices, we all know that this life is what we make it. The red pill is about being pragmatic. It's about facing up to reality. It's about being streetwise. It's the world of the PUA, the pickup artist. It's about coming halfway to meet this shit show called life. And it's also about that normies, particularly women, can't be trusted to tell the truth. They're disingenuous. Better get an angle and read between the lines. The black pill, well, where the red pillar is scornful of the mainstream, there's still an active participant in it. The red pillar still wants to improve his lot, but the black pillar, he says no. The game is up. In fact, even before it ever began. I suppose the black pillar is the melancholic, romantic poet of our age with his dark, despairing art in the form of dank memes and his poetry in the form of his anguished posts. Different schools of thought, different dogma. If this was a discussion on philosophy, the blue pillar argues on the side of free will. The black pillar argues on the side of determinism. Let's go back to this conversation. I would never tell anybody to give up the fight. But having said that, is it a mature approach to say that looks and appearance have precious little to do with success in dating? Particularly when the person expressing the opinion has themselves neither such success and is not actually good looking. Hardly persuasive, is it? When it comes to the blue pill, the red pill, and the black pill, plenty of people I've engaged in have admitted to being red-pilled and black-pilled. But nobody I know has admitted to being blue-pilled. The question might be is what's a good opinion and what's good advice? Did you come to a conclusion through considered investigation, or are you taking the easy option by parroting what you've been fed by the mainstream? Essentially, glib, facile opinions that don't address the particular, concrete, real life problems of which the advice is addressed to. So, why have I presented this discussion on the blue pill, the red pill, and the black pill? It all boils down to the fact that this channel is in itself an argument, that online debate is a meaningful pursuit. According to conventional logic, this exchange I've presented is a random, angry encounter online amongst a group of individuals separated by thousands of kilometers of physical space. On the surface, it may appear inconsequential, but I'm going to say there is something more meaningful at play. There's something larger at play than just the people here. Within the conversation, the blue pillar says as much. You all talk the same. And perhaps they do. We are less individuals and more representatives of the communities we belong to. We speak with such a voice. After all, an individual is so much less consequential than a group or a community. And online debate is meaningful and should be considered as such. A person is a person, but they're also a blue pillar. A person is a person, but they're also a black pillar. We draw a line in the sand and then we argue, and sometimes it's unpleasant. But in arguing, we may clarify our understandings, and in arguing, we may bring people over to our point of view. Thank you for watching my video.